play it for one another, teach one another. As soon as Robert played me the beginning of this song, I learned it. I loved it so much. We were both faced with having to do something that we'd never done before in a serious way in our lives, which was get a job. And I knew I didn't want one, and I knew I wanted to play music, but I didn't think it was a realistic thing to be able to count on. But Robert painted these wonderful pictures of where we lived and places that we went to, and I thought to myself, this fellow here, who was so good to all of us, giving us a place to hang out, and who took such great care of the man who owned the house he lived in. This was an eccentric and interesting character, kind man, but he would rent people at houses. He was a very unpopular landlord because he would rent his house to people and never quite relinquish living there himself. He had other rent houses in town, and the people that lived in those houses would just lock the doors when they saw him coming. And Robert, in his typical style, when he would pull up in his old truck, Robert would say, "Hey, Mr. Boyette, how you doing?" And Mr. Boyette would walk right up the walkway and right into the house, and he'd pick up the telephone and he'd start to make a call. He'd say, "I'm fine, Robert, how are you?" And then he'd go over to the icebox in the kitchen, he'd look in there for something to drink, and Robert never once made him feel like he didn't belong there. And I always admired that. And so, well, on the weekends, Robert would go down to Milliken, Texas, and help him work on his ranch. And so Robert was nice enough to let me add to his song, and it turned into this right here.
This old porch is like big old red and white oak road, standing under a mesquite tree. Amadou's in Texas, it keeps on playing out at sea with that hot August sun. Sweating and panting, as if the work is never done. This old porch is like a steaming, greasy blade. Lots of cheese and onions and guacamole salad. You can get them out to the Silo Hotel in old downtown with iced tea and a waitress. She'll smile every time. This old porch is like a palace. I'm walking in Main Street in Texas. Never seen her good day. GNR and XL. It's almost faded down, and a screen without a picture since John came to town.
Feathered gray-haired 70 years in Texas, is doing all it can not to give in to the city, and he always takes the rent late so long as I run his cattle, and he picks me up at dinner time, and I listen to him rap. He says the grass still runs muddy, just like she's run all along. There ain't never been no cane to grind. The cotton's all gone. You know this brand new back